guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sabythesimmer, aka Sabythesimmer. I hope you're doing well this Thursday. It feels like honestly forever since I've done a voiceover, even though it was only last week. But yeah, there's only been one video this week. I have just been so overwhelmed. My mental health is struggling. So yeah, I just thought I wouldn't like put too much pressure on myself, and I'll just get one video done. And I have a lot to talk about today. Well, there's a lot in terms of the Sims to talk about, but there's also this build which I think is quite a fun build that I've done. So I got a comment, I'll pop it on the screen, and someone said it'll be interesting to see me do a desert house. And I think I've done like builds in Oasis Springs before, but I've never really done anything based on like a desert home. Maybe one or two builds, maybe, but like Oasis Springs is definitely one of my favorite worlds. And it's weird, like all my favorite worlds are pretty much base game worlds, but I think I like all the worlds anyway, but like the worlds I gravitate towards the most are like the base game worlds, which is quite interesting because I have quite a few packs, so I can choose from a range of different worlds, but my favorite worlds are the base game worlds still. So yeah, I thought I would do this desert home, and I was like, who would I build for? What is the inspiration? So I do have an inspiration photo, so I used it, and then I saw another photo that was like from a different view and was like, oh okay, so I have a better idea of how the build was. So this isn't exactly like the reference image that I use, which I'll put on the screen right now. It is slightly different because essentially like the front where I'm kind of tailoring now is essentially the garden area, but I completely just use my own inspiration and just, not my own inspiration, my own like kind of creative direction and decided to have it as like a bit of a wraparound, and so that the garden has its own moment, like in the back where you've got a pool and a bar and all that kind of stuff, but we'll talk about it when I get to the garden. But yeah, I was like, who am I going to build for? And then I was like, you know what, let's do Johnny's Zest. That could be fun. I was like, maybe I should just stick to just base game because it's like base game world. Johnny's Zest, like I was gonna stick to just base game, and then I was like, you know what, no, I really want to have fun with this. So I just didn't limit myself with the packs. So it's quite a few packs that I've used. Apologies if that is a problem, but I am gonna be doing a base game build real soon, because as I was building this, I literally finished this build yesterday and was like, okay cool, let me download the files to my USB so I can start editing it and everything like that, so I can get it ready for you guys today. And then I go on Twitter, and then I see that the desert kit came out, which I knew was coming out anyway, but I was like, you know what, I haven't got any money right now, so I'll wait until I get money and then I can buy the desert kit, because I knew I wanted to get it because I'm definitely a builder. And the items that came with it, I was like, yes, I want all of them. So I was definitely going to buy it anyway. But when I came on Twitter and I was like, it's free, I was like, wait, what? The way I downloaded it so damn quick, I wasted no time. Even if there wasn't a date limit, a time limit, I just got it straight away. I was so excited to be able to use it, but I haven't used it yet. I'm waiting. I'm in that like giddy stage where I'm like, I want to see it fresh and like when I'm actually building. Although for some reason, whenever I get a new pack, or if I buy a new pack or a kit or whatever the case may be, I always feel really overwhelmed with what to build, because I'm like, oh my gosh, all these new options, I haven't had time to play around with it. So I normally do play around with it and do my own kind of build off of camera, and then I'll do a speed build of another build at some other time. But this time around, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go into it. So I was a bit annoyed because I definitely could have used this for this build. I definitely could have used the kit for this build, but I obviously had no idea. Like, it wasn't on my phone. I was literally just building away, and I had The Walking Dead in the background, so I had to cut out several pauses where I was like, wait, what's happening on the screen? So I'm like watching The Walking Dead, and I'm like, oh yeah, wait, I'm recording this speed build. So I was like back and forth basically. So I didn't have any clue what was going on Twitter until I went back onto it later, and I was like, wait, what? So that was pretty exciting. So the next build that I do is only going to be base game and the desert kit, considering base game is going to be free from the 18th of October. So if you didn't already know, if you're watching these videos and you don't have The Sims 4 at the moment, then you could be in a good position, because The Sims 4, just the base game, is going to be free from October the 18th, which I think is a pretty cool idea, to be fair. Obviously, they're a business, so I'm not really sitting here thinking, oh my god, they're really looking out for the people. Like, no, I'm pretty sure it's just so that it's free, more people can access it, and more people have the opportunity to buy kits and packs and all that kind of stuff. Like, the DLC is where the money is at, let's be real. But as I say all the time, I always wait till sales. So I was a bit like, I get it, because I wasn't like aware of The Sims 4 when it came out, so I don't know what my thought process would have been. I don't know if I would have bought it straight away. I don't know if I would have waited for a sale. I really don't know. If I came across The Sims 4 the way I did like recently, because I've only been like playing with The Sims for maybe about a year or two, I think. So I think if I would have come across it when it first released and I was watching the videos I was watching and getting really excited, I think maybe I could have potentially bought it for full price. But I didn't buy The Sims on my console or on my laptop for full price. Everything I've bought is mostly on sale. The only things I bought obviously full price are kits because they don't go on sale, and also which kind of is a bit of a full circle moment because I bought the Discover University full price and then I bought High School Years at full price. So there's clearly something about the education I like in The Sims 4. I don't know why, but that's the packs I bought full price. So yeah, it was quite interesting. But I was just like, I don't know if I would have bought it full price. I don't know, because I guess because I have the knowledge now of what The Sims 4 was like and also what it's like now. I think now it's definitely worth, like, I don't even know if it's really worth full price, but I think it's a good stage right now, especially because they keep updating it. They've added scenarios and all these different things. I think they've done well in terms of like updating the base game so that it's a bit more interesting. I mean, I do get bored sometimes when I'm just using a base game or mods on my laptop, but sometimes it's okay. Like, I can spend hours doing it, and other times on that I can bored, I want to build or something like that. But I think if you're coming to The Sims 4 completely new, have no idea, you probably would enjoy it because it's something different, or it's not like many other games that's out there. The Sims is quite unique in its own kind of way, so I guess it could be really interesting. But I think it's quite exciting that The Sims is going to be free, because then more people can get into The Sims, which I think is obviously a great thing. If you wanted The Sims or you've been wanting to get into The Sims, but yeah, I think October will be a good time to get into it. And then also, if you have the kit, if you have the base game already, because the way they've done it is the kit is only free up until the 17th. So once the 17th is passed, which I believe is Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember what day it is. Once that's passed, then it will be the £5 that it normally is, or $5, whatever, wherever you are. But I think that's reasonable enough. They've given you like a bit of a free gift essentially, which is quite cool. I think it's fine. I know some people are like, oh, do I get a refund on the base game or whatever the case may be, and I was like, I don't know if I'm just a bit like snobby because I didn't pay full price, so I was a bit like, I'm not really losing out on much. Like, I'm pretty sure I paid like £18, I think I did, for both of the games, like each separately, like £18 each, I believe, because I think it was like £17 maybe on my console when I bought it, maybe less, I'm not actually sure, and then on my laptop I'm pretty sure it was again like £17-18, something like that. So pretty much like half the price that it realistically is, probably a little bit more, I'm not sure. But yeah, because I only paid that amount, like, I'm not really fussed. I don't feel like I need a refund or anything like that. I just had to pause the recording, but I'm back now. So this is the bar. I've spoken through the whole garden. I skipped out a lot of it as well because I was just so indecisive. I ran up the stairs. I really shouldn't run up the stairs and then record. I always do this on stream as well. Like, I'll go toilet and come up and I'll run up the stairs. And then I get back on stream and I'm like... So I probably shouldn't be running up the stairs when I have a voiceover to do. But I'm just going to keep on doing it because I'm mad. So, yes. Anyway, I skipped over a lot of the garden because I was just so indecisive. The pool size, how the design, all of it. I just skipped over it because it was just so long. And then I finally just added in some succulents, added in some landscaping, which... Did I finalize the details of the landscaping? I think so. I can't even remember. And then, like, some trees and things like that. Oh my gosh, this trick with the lamp and the plant. I will have to find the video where I saw it, but someone did a video and they used, like, different plants on the base game, like a bunch... Not actually the base game, I don't know. But they used a bunch of plants and different lampshades, and it was like, you can create your own pots, basically, with the lamps. And I was just like, this is such a cool idea. I've never thought of this before. So I'm going to have to find the video so I can actually, like, post it, because I can't, like, leave it in the description because I can't remember who it was. But I just remember seeing it and I was like, this is a great idea. I'm going to do that. So that's what I did. I just used the lamp and then put the, like, raised it up because it snaps to the bar. So I had to raise it up away from the bar and then move everything away. Then put the plant where I wanted it and then put the lampshade over it. If you have, like, tool mud, you can probably, like, get it to a perfect size and a perfect height. So it's fully covering the pot that's already there. So it can be, like, basically invisible. But I don't have the tool mud because it's console. So I just did what I could with what I have. So, yeah, I did that. I shuffle things around as well. So I kind of skip a little bit through that. So I've got some lounge chairs, but I end up putting it either side of the pool. And then I end up putting, like, a seating area in the corner as well. And then we got the pool with the side with the ladder. And then we got the other side with, like, the jumping rock thingy. I don't even know what it's called. I don't think I ever use that style of the jumping, like, board or whatever it's called. What is it even called? I don't even know. I always just use like the very simple, like basic one. I don't use the other rock one, and I think there's another one that kind of looks a bit like run down, but I've never had a reason to do anything. I've not done any like run down builds necessarily, so it's just, and if I think of run down, I don't think of a pool. Like, it'd have to be like an old house with a pool, and like it's just been, it needs renovating or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, that happened. What else can we talk about? So if I completely like spoke over this. If you're new to The Sims, you don't really know much about the pre-made Sims, the townies. I don't know that much even myself, to be fair. But one thing I do know is Johnny Zest is the Sim that lives in the trailer park or the trailer home in Oasis Springs, right? And he's actually a land grab. So he's one of the children from the land grab family. So Nancy and Jeffrey, I think it is, have the son Johnny and Malcolm. And basically Johnny kind of got disowned essentially because he wanted to like do his own thing. He wanted to be this entertainer. And I was in my head thinking, yeah, Johnny Zest is probably going to be in a lot of debt with this house because I don't think he can really afford it. I don't think he's making money enough to do this, like making enough money. I think it was quite funny in my head. I was like, oh, Johnny Zest, he's got all the kind of charisma but no talent necessarily. So like he knows who to speak to. He's got a great network. He knows all the right people in the entertainment industry, but him himself doesn't really have that much talent. So he kind of runs with the fact that he knows the right people and that's what gets him places. But essentially he doesn't have a lot of money. So I can imagine he's in a lot of debt with this home. And I kind of just like the idea of that. And then when I went over to read the little description thing that has over Johnny Zest, when you go into like manage worlds and you can look at the like the household description essentially, or who's in the house, it does kind of mention that Johnny Zest doesn't have the talent, which I thought was so funny because I made up in my head, but then I was like, maybe it's because I know that's part of his story and that's why it kind of came to mind. So in my mind I was like, yeah, Johnny Zest can really not afford this house, but it's all like about the looks. It's all about him looking good and him looking like he's got the talent, the money, all that kind of stuff. I don't think he's really got the talent, to be fair. So he's not necessarily doing well in his career. He just knows the right people. But I did say one of the things he does do really well is a house party. He does know how to throw a good house party. So I kind of made it feel like this house is like the perfect spot to come and hang out, play games on the console, be in the pool, and be at the bar, like sit around, lounge around, drink, have fun, dance, all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to feel a bit like, not like totally like a party house, but I wanted it to feel like a bachelor pad where he had people around, he can have people entertained. He would always hire like a mixologist and like maybe a cook even, all that kind of stuff. So I did try to like take a few shots of like a group. I think you would have seen it when I did like the opening shot of the build, like had a bunch of Sims around. I took some time making. I don't know why I bothered doing that stuff. I really should have just like downloaded some Sims from the gallery and just put them in a world, but I just made some Sims quickly and just made it look like he was having a bit of a gathering at his house. So yeah, you would have seen that little shot at the beginning. But I liked the idea of it kind of just being this kind of dark themed house, but like a lot of like, it's got a lot of brutalist kind of feel to it, I think, as well as like the stone and the kind of like concrete wall that I've got on the back of the kitchen as well, and like different elements of the house with the stone wall. I just liked how it all kind of came together. And now I'm looking at this, the stone wall is missing a piece, isn't it? Like I should have painted that side of the wall. I totally didn't notice that. Why do I always notice these things when I'm bloody recording and like when I'm watching the speed build? Like, it's done now, the build's up in the gallery because I play tested it and everything, so that's annoying. I really didn't know what the color scheme was really going to be inside the house. I think I just based on the first room that I decorated, which was the kitchen. So going from that kitchen, I was like, okay, we're going with dark woods, we're going with creams. I didn't want it to feel too like neutral and like blended in too much, but it did kind of turn out that way. But it had like these little touches of like modern furniture. I would imagine that he definitely got an interior designer to like design his home. Again, definitely couldn't afford it, but he probably like took out a loan for it or something like that to be able to pay for this interior decorator to give him like the best bachelor pad, the best home. And yeah, I just thought it'd be funny. I don't know if this is really the desert style home that the comment was kind of like looking for, because if I'm honest, like I don't think I've done many like desert homes like I mentioned, and like this is one that I kind of saw online on Pinterest and was like, I like the way it looks. It would fit into the Oasis Springs, the world, pretty well, and I think it turned out well as well. But I was just a bit like, I really have no idea what a desert home really looks like in person, because I've never been to one. Like, we're not really, like, in London, I'm not really surrounded by, like, this type of climate or anything like that. So, for the most part, I'm just used to kind of, like, areas just, like, full of homes and maybe a couple of parks and, like, some greenery or whatever. So, it's interesting to try and build something that's, like, totally out of my reality. and then I kind of imagine what it'd look like and everything like that. And obviously, because I couldn't see any inside shots, I mean, you kind of can with the photo that I used. There is like, you can see inside because of the big windows, which is what I wanted to like copy. I wanted to have this big windows, loads of natural light coming through, especially because I was like, I don't want to have like a bunch of lights everywhere, even though I probably did put a lot of lights everywhere. I still wanted to have this element of like a bunch of natural light coming in. And I didn't change the lights. I normally change all the lights, the tone of the lights, to like a cool white, but I didn't for this house. And to be fair, I kind of like it with the yellowy tone. I don't know if it would have changed much if I made it white. I don't really know if it would have, but I like the way it turned out nevertheless. So I just ran with it basically. So once the kitchen was done and the dining area was done, I tried to decide what area was going to be the space with like TV, like the entertainment space, and also wanted him to feel like he had this moment where he's like the star of the show. So I wanted to have the microphone then, like the speakers next to it as well, so that he could have his moment where people would sit down and he would be like, okay guys, I'm gonna tell you guys a couple of jokes, and like everyone is just gonna be like, oh, here we go, this kind of thing. But you entertain it because you're at Johnny Zest's house and he's the host, and you want to be polite and also thinking, I don't want him to kick me out. And he knows all the right people. So I bet Johnny gets used a lot. Not in a negative... Well, you can't really be used in a positive way. But I don't think they do it really, like, maliciously. I think it's just in a sense of, like, they hang around Johnny because they're, like, he knows the people to hang around with. Or he knows who's in, who's hot, all that kind of stuff. So I can imagine that he has a lot of friends that are just, like, there for what they can get out of it, as opposed to, like, truly being his friends. So I can imagine he's very lonely. And, bit of a player, I assume, but basically I feel like it's just based on circumstance as opposed to like that was his intention all along. I think he just like, I've not found anyone who genuinely likes me and that kind of thing. They're only there for the money. So in his mind, or the money, I say with quotation marks because there isn't any. He doesn't have much money at all. I would imagine that he kind of just ended up accepting the fate of like, if I'm not going to meet anyone genuine, I'm just going to play them at their own game and just kind of entertain the people that entertain him kind of thing. Which is kind of sad, but I kind of like the idea of just Johnny being like, just accepting his position where he is right now and being like, that's what it is, I'm going to go with it, I'm going to run with it, I'm going to be a star one day. And like, I can imagine he has that mentality of, I'm going to be a star one day and all these people are going to be like coming back to me and being like, oh, I remember when I was friends with Johnny, that kind of thing. I can imagine he's waiting for his big moment, his big break. But if he's not very talented, I don't know if it's gonna come. I mean, I don't know. Some people are okay. Like, they don't really need talent necessarily to be doing well in life. Sometimes you just need to be good at something or to know the right people. So he could be in the right position, to be fair. So yeah, the kind of like entertainment space was next, opposite the kitchen and dining area. And then on the platform that's like right next to the entrance is where I've got the space where you can just kind of like sit, drink, maybe listen to Johnny play the guitar or tell some terrible jokes. So I played around with the chairs so much, I didn't know what chairs to go with. Then I ended up going with the ones that I believe are from Get to Work, I think. Which they're such a strange chair for that pack. I just, like, this chair, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if I think of Get to Work, I wouldn't have thought of chairs like that. So it's just very interesting that that's the pack that it came with. And it could actually be wrong, so do correct me if I am wrong. It could be a totally different pack and I'm just here, like, slagging it off. But yeah, I haven't spoken anything about the details of the build. This build is very expensive. Like I said, Johnny is going to be in debt with this home. So it is 91,779 simoleons. It's also in a 40 by 30 lot. This is just the same lot that Johnny has just already lived on. I just bulldozed it, which you would have seen right at the beginning of the build. I've only made it a 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. In my mind, I was like, oh, should I make it bigger? But then I was like, Johnny Zest is not going to be... I think he probably does want to settle down, have a family, all that kind of thing. But in this moment right now, he is living his best life, his best single life, okay? He's not thinking about children right now. He's not thinking about marriage right now. He's just enjoying kind of being the star of the show, being around a lot of people that want to be around him. For not the best reasons, but they want to be around him nevertheless. So in my mind, I was like, he doesn't need space for that. He doesn't need extra room. And I knew I wanted an office space, but in the end, I just didn't know where to put it, and I didn't really think about it too much. So in the end, I just ended up putting it in the bedroom. Like, I'm giving him like a computer and everything like that in the bedroom. But we'll get into the bedroom when I go into the bedroom to do it, to finish it. What am I saying? Anyway, I used the ceiling lights on the Maximalist kit. And then this is the bathroom. The bathroom, I really like the idea of it being kind of like very open. I mean, you are going to be kind of exposed, to be fair. I would imagine that you'd have like electronic blinds that kind of come down and go up and whatever, but I didn't add any curtains into this actual build, so your Sims will have their bums and everything out as the game into the bathtub because you can very much see it because the bathtub is literally right next to the window, and also the toilet is right next to the window. So, you know, use at your own discretion, I say. But it's a sim, so it's alright because everything's pixelated as well. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter really. No one's gonna see anything. But I just thought it would be funny to mention it. But yeah, I've used the like the base game corner tub. Do we get any other corner style tubs in any of the other packs? I'm imagining probably Get to Work might have one. I mean, not Get to Work, Get Famous might have one, but I have no idea because I like them. But this one, it just doesn't always fit every single build, so I just want one that kind of fits a bit more. I don't know what I'm expecting, but you know, just a little something. I don't know. I use the Spa Day toilet, I believe it is, and then I use like I said, the bath tub that's like from base game. Added a few bits of clutter as well into the counters and the sink. I add in the plant kit. It's got like this table that have different tiers on it, and I put some plants on there, and I also filled up some clutter inside the Dream Home Decorator like rounded shelves. I don't think I'm describing it very well, but that's what I did. That's what I did, yeah. And then I wanted to change the platform as well for the bath, so I just went with the stone one. I wasn't sure about the colours and tones in here, but once I added lights, I actually like the way it turned out. I do wish though, when I look back at the screenshots, I do wish I would have moved the shelves slightly lower down because they look quite high in the screenshots, but you'll see those at the end. Once I've done the bathroom, I move on to the bedroom, and then I'll do the final bits for the garden, so like terrain paints and things like that. So yeah, I don't think it's not a long one today. It's not a long speed build today, which I wasn't sure if it would be quite short, because when I was recording it, I was like, oh, I've got through quite a lot, and it lets me know once I've done an hour, because my clips save in an hour. So once an hour's done, it will tell me to save the clip, and then I have to start recording again for the next clip. So it is a bit of a faff on the console, but it's just how it works for me. Sometimes I do forget that it's not recording or it is recording, so sometimes I'm like, I've got 10 clips of like minutes apart because I've like, wait, did I press record? And then I have to double check, because I hate when I don't record and I miss things. I hate it so much. I'd rather have all the footage and just cut out what I don't want than like not have any footage or not have the right footage. That just, it bugs me. It really bugs me. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had all the clips. But yeah, we moved on to the bedroom. Like I was saying, it didn't take that long. I think I had 8 hours or maybe 9-ish hours of footage. I can't actually remember now. I think in total I had like 11 clips, and that's including like the floor plan clips and like the clips I take before and after. Well, yeah, before mostly. So about 9-ish hours of footage I've rattled down. But like I said, I did cut out a bit of the garden because it was just a faff, honestly. And even with this bedroom, I feel like I cut out a lot as well, because I was just really struggling. Like, I knew I wanted a platform. I knew I wanted to have like the bed in the center of the room and like have everything around it. But I kind of planned to like have the area where you can walk outside to the garden. Like, I kind of wanted that to be a bit of a lounge area, but I wasn't sure if I was using the space very well. I wanted to like make sure there was space for a bit of an office space, or like just a computer laptop kind of situation. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with the way it turned out. I feel like I could have definitely done things differently. I just don't know how or like what I would have done differently. But it just, in my head, I knew what I wanted, and I feel like I didn't really get that in the end. But it's fine. I was happy with the way it turned out in the end. The screenshots are cute. And I ended up using the paranormal stuff pack so far. I believe I used it twice in this room, actually. And I kept going back and forth with the dresser. So I kept using that dresser, then I wouldn't use the dresser, and then I'd put it back, then I'd take it away. Oh my gosh, it was stress. In the end, I take the dresser away, and then I add in a bookshelf. I kind of copy the paranormal stuff pack chair and put that there. And then what else did I put over there? Like little end table and a lamp as well. And like where the computer is moved to like where the bed is, like the opposite side of the bed. And then we have like a TV and like a dresser set up on one side, and then a chair on the other side, which is quite far because I didn't use a big TV, I used a small one. Actually, no, I believe I took the TV away because I don't think it made sense to have a small TV and then you're sitting literally opposite side of the room to watch that TV. So I did get rid of it and just leave like a little speaker there and like some other like flowers and something like that over there. And then in the like storage bits with the hanging clothes from Dream Home Decorator, I put in like some trophies. I can imagine Johnny's Zest definitely got some like participation trophies. Like there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like he's like a guy. I don't think he's necessarily going to get a gold or a, you know, a award for his like great performances. I think it's just a matter of like he participated, so here you go, you get an award for trying or being involved kind of thing. And I don't think I've done this before with those tiny living pictures and like put them on top of each other but like size one down. I like the way I did that. I like the way that came out, so I'm definitely gonna do that again. But yeah, like I said, a few knickknacks, a few little details around the what do you call it, bedroom, and things kept popping up with the platform, so I ended up having to put the platform back up and then put it back down so I could get the kind of like details that's on top of the desk to move where I wanted it to move and not like be in the absolute way. I went with the Seasons bookshelf, which I think is very tall. Well, I don't think it's very tall. It is very tall. So I only use it if I use like a medium wall, to be fair, which I did use for this build. And I think originally it was a medium wall, so I didn't change it. I just left it as it was, and it meant that I could use platforms without having like doors and stuff clipping into things. I think medium walls are good if you want to use like big windows and like tall doors, but like sometimes a short just feels so much more comfortable to me. But like using a short and having platforms it really just takes inches away from the build, so you do have to be careful with like a short wall height and like platforms. You can't use too many, otherwise you're gonna end up with like a build that's almost like a cave to walk through. Like you're gonna have to be on your hands and knees to like get through it. So yeah, I use medium if I want to do any platforms, which I didn't use any like major platforms. They're all like one tile up, and that's pretty much it. So I was going to do a bit more of a tiered situation, but I just left it as it was. But like I said, just adding some final details, and then you'll see the screenshots. And I do finish up the build by just adding in the paints to the kind of like half wall that I've used as a fence, and adding in any extra details I needed to do. But you will see the screenshots. This build is up on the gallery. My gallery ID is Sabythesimmer if you want it. And also streaming on Twitch today. I'm playing It Takes Two with my sister. So if you want to come through, please do. The link is in my description. I'll see you right there. And I will see you on Tuesday for a new video, guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye.